see such a great turnout to help honor the veterans that are assembled here today. My name is Bob Suggs. It's no secret that the Vietnam era was filled with controversy, particularly in the later years, and the military was not universally seen in a positive light. For millions of us, the draft lottery was a source of real tension for a number of years. I had a low number the year I finished my 4th undergraduate year as a music major. But fortunately, I was a skilled enough trumpet player to be accepted into the U.S. Army Band in Washington, where I served for 3 years, starting in 1972. And that experience really jump-started my eventual 50-year musical performance career. Fast forward 50 years to June of last year, when I attended the Army Band alumni reunion at Fort Myer in Arlington as part of the band's 100th anniversary commemoration. At the event's closing concert, those of us who were Vietnam-era vets were each given the recently created lapel pins, which I am proudly wearing. I thought right away that we surely must have a large contingent of Vietnam vets here in Heritage Harbor. So I contacted the chief organizer for that presentation, the band's recently retired Command Sergeant Major Dan Smith. Dan was an old friend of mine, and I was able to get all the information and encouragement I needed from him to move forward with seeing if we could honor our own. Then luckily we got a generous supply of presentation pins from the Maryland Department of Veterans Affairs. So now it gives me the great honor to introduce our presenter, retired Brigadier General Peter Hens. A Vietnam veteran himself, General Hens had several command positions in the Army, including the Maryland National Guard. Even in retirement, he has remained a tireless advocate for veterans, serving on the board of directors for Operation Second Chance, an organization whose purpose is to help veterans in need. He and other members of the group even made a recent extended bicycle trek across very challenging terrain for over 300 miles from Pittsburgh to Gaithersburg to raise funding and draw attention to their mission. So will you please welcome Peter Hens.
Good afternoon, and thanks so very much for coming out today. It's an honor and a particular and personal treat to be a part of the ceremony and to be able to pin fellow Vietnam veterans. 2 words came to mind. I've been thinking about today in the ceremony quite a bit, and 2 words came to mind: symbol and honor. And in the military, we have a lot of symbols, and I brought a couple. First, the ubiquitous universal dog tags. I think I just lost one of my other props. And I'm gonna have to go get that. Dog tags. You go in, you carry them, and you have them with you all the time. And I ended up spending about 36, 37 years in the military, and but I still keep them today. And they tell who you are and important information for not good times. But they're important, and we all know what dog tags are. The second symbol I brought, it's hard to see, I know you can't see, it's a pair of captain's bars. And in the Navy it would be lieutenants. I was in a unit where when you became a captain, you were awarded a set of bars and it had your date of promotion, and you carried them with you everywhere. I was with that unit for quite a while, and we converted it from a kind of a social drinking bar check thing into recognition of leadership. And so we made sure that when a young soldier got their captain's bars, they knew it was because we had chosen them to be a leader of soldiers. I carry mine with me today. I had the pleasure of mentoring a guy that came as a young lieutenant who is now also, he is actively serving as a general, and he carries his captain's bars. He went to a different unit as a battalion commander, and he instituted captain's bars to recognize leaders there. And to this day, that unit still does this practice. So a very powerful symbol this is. The next one I have that I threw on the stage, unfortunately, let me see if I can. I have to get this, excuse me. And it's very relevant for today. Bob mentioned that bike ride. It's 100-some people, and we ride from Pittsburgh down to Gaithersburg over 4 days. This year we raised about $550,000 to help wounded, ill, and injured vets. It's been going on for some 21 years, and to date has raised over $6 million for that cause. I like to ride bikes, so it's not too bad. But so I was in Confluence at the hotel, sitting drinking an adult beverage in the evening, overlooking the Yakagini River, and there was a couple, kind of my vintage there, and we started chatting, and it turned out the woman asked what I was doing, and I explained everything. She said, "Well, are you a veteran?" I said, "Yes." She said, "Well, are you a Vietnam veteran?" I said, "Yes, I am." She said, "Well, my husband and I are here to cycle, but we're from the state of Washington, and we're area coordinators for the Vietnam Veterans of America." She said, "May I give you something?" I said, "Well, you don't have to give me anything." She said, "No, I'd like to." And she gave me something very simple. It's a key fob and beads that with the colors of the Vietnam flag in it. And I'm going to try not to choke up. It's been more than 50 years since I came back from Vietnam, 50 and a half years. I came back in March of '73. This is the first welcome home present I ever got, 50 years later. So this is a symbol, and she gave it to me to honor what I had done. And that's what we hope to do today, is by pinning Vietnam veterans, their spouses or their family members, is to present them with a symbol that represents honor. Honor for their decision to go to Vietnam, despite the unpopularity, despite the challenges, and to face many challenges and uncomfortable moments upon return. And so I hope I'm the only one that waited 50 years for a welcome home or, you know, a gift. But if there are others in the group here that this is their first one, God bless us, because that's what we're here to do today. So it is so important that you all came here today to witness this ceremony. I thank you very much, and I consider it a very personal honor to be able to pin my fellow Vietnam veterans. Thank you.
There is a late addition to the program. In addition to receiving the lapel pin this afternoon, each veteran's service has been acknowledged by a proclamation by our President Joe Biden. And here is an excerpt from the scroll each veteran will receive. We honor all those who bravely served and who sacrificed, as did their families and caregivers, on behalf of our nation. Today and every day, we honor the bravery and commitment and give thanks to a generation of Americans who valiantly fought in the service of a country they love. We will always remember those we lost and honor those we came home. Every service member of the Vietnam generation should know that their sacrifices mattered and that their service made a difference. We pledge our steadfast care and support to our Vietnam veterans. We will honor our sacred obligation to you and your family. expressing deep compassion for the families of the fallen, those who remain missing, and all others who served, yet no longer walk among us. I have hereunto set my hand. Joseph R. Biden. We've asked Elise Malinowski to hand out these proclamations, but before we begin, may I ask that we pause for 58 seconds. 58 seconds of reflection for the 58,000 names on the Vietnam veteran flag wall. Thank you for remembering those who gave all. We will proceed with the pins.